Have you ever thought about how the everyday objects in your home could be affecting your health? Most of us focus on eating healthy, getting enough sleep, and exercising, but what if the biggest threat to your well-being is right inside your house? Today, we're exposing 9 household items that are commonly used by millions of people but may increase the risk of cancer over time. Some of them will shock you because they seem completely harmless, but when you understand what's inside them and how they work, you'll see why experts warn against prolonged exposure. Before we dive in, do me a favor, if you find this information useful, hit that like button to support this content. All right, let's get started with the first dangerous household item: disposable plastic plates, cups, and cutlery. Whether it's a picnic, a family gathering, or just a way to avoid doing dishes, these convenient items are in nearly every home. What makes disposable plastic dangerous? The main issue with disposable plasticware isn't just that it's bad for the environment, it's the chemicals used to make it. Most plastic items contain bisphenol A, BPA, and phthalates, 2 chemicals known for their ability to disrupt the body's hormones. When heated or exposed to acidic foods and drinks, these chemicals can leach into whatever you're consuming. BPA, bisphenol A, commonly found in plastic. BPA mimics estrogen in the body, disrupting hormonal balance and potentially leading to breast and prostate cancer. Phthalates, these chemicals are used to make plastic flexible. Studies have linked long-term exposure to an increased risk of certain cancers, particularly in the reproductive system. How does this affect you? You might be thinking, okay, but I only use plastic cups and plates occasionally. How bad can it be? Imagine this: you pour hot coffee into a plastic cup, or you serve a fresh salad with vinegar on a plastic plate. The heat and acidity cause the plastic to break down slightly, releasing tiny amounts of these harmful chemicals into your food and drinks. Over the years, these chemicals accumulate in your body, disrupting cell function and increasing the chances of DNA mutations, one of the major factors leading to cancer. The biggest dangers come from heating food in plastic containers or using hot beverages in plastic cups. Even microwavable plastics can release harmful chemicals when exposed to high heat. Storing acidic or oily foods in plastic containers, sauces, citrus fruits, and dressings can accelerate chemical leaching. Reusing disposable plastics. Many people use plastic cups and utensils multiple times, thinking it's harmless. However, each reuse increases the risk of chemical breakdown. Studies have found direct links between BPA exposure and increased cancer risk. The National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences has confirmed that BPA disrupts hormone functions, which can trigger the growth of hormone-sensitive cancers like breast and prostate cancer. Research from the Endocrine Society showed that people with higher BPA exposure had an increased risk of hormone tumors. A study published in the journal Environmental Health Perspective suggested that long-term exposure to phthalates may increase the risk of liver and testicular cancer. How to reduce your risk? Luckily, you don't have to give up convenience completely, you just need to make smarter choices. Use glass, ceramic, or stainless steel cups and plates whenever possible. Avoid heating food in plastic containers, instead transfer meals to glass or ceramic before microwaving. Look for BPA-free labels. While this isn't a perfect solution, some alternatives are still questionable. It's a better choice than traditional plastic. Final thought on disposable plasticware. The convenience of disposable plastic comes with an invisible cost: your long-term health. While using it once in a while won't immediately harm you, repeated exposure over years can increase your risk of serious health issues, including cancer. By making small changes now, you can protect yourself and your loved ones from unnecessary exposure to these harmful chemicals. Now, let's move on to the next dangerous household item you never thought could be increasing your cancer risk. Brushing your teeth is one of the most routine things we do every day, morning and night without thinking. We grab our trusted toothpaste, squeeze it onto the brush, and scrub away. But what if I told you that some common toothpaste brands contain ingredients that have been linked to cancer and other serious health risks? What's the problem with fluoride toothpaste? For years, we've been told that fluoride is essential for preventing cavities and strengthening enamel. But new research suggests that excessive fluoride exposure may come with serious risks. including an increased likelihood of developing certain types of cancer. Here's why. Fluoride has been linked to osteosarcoma, a rare and aggressive form of bone cancer, in multiple studies. Some toothpastes contain triclosan, an antibacterial agent that has been classified as a potential carcinogen. Many fluoride-containing pastes also have SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate, which can lead to chronic irritation and increase the absorption of harmful chemicals through the gums. How are you being exposed? Every time you brush your teeth, small amounts of fluoride are absorbed through the mucous membranes in your mouth. While swallowing a little toothpaste might not seem like a big deal, fluoride accumulates in the body over time. Even if you spit out the toothpaste, traces of fluoride stay in your mouth and enter your bloodstream. The problem gets worse if you're also getting fluoride from tap water, mouthwash, and processed foods. A study by Harvard University found a correlation between fluoride exposure in children and an increased risk of osteosarcoma in boys. The National Toxicology Program, NTP, is currently reviewing evidence linking fluoride exposure to increased cancer rates. Animal studies have shown that high levels of fluoride can cause genetic damage in cells, a key step in cancer development. What can you do to stay safe? Choose fluoride-free toothpaste. Many brands now offer natural alternatives that clean effectively without the risks. We read the labels. Avoid toothpaste containing triclosan, SLS, and artificial sweeteners like saccharin. Filter your tap water. If your local water supply is fluoridated, consider using a reverse osmosis filter to reduce exposure. Final thought on fluoride toothpaste. While fluoride does help fight cavities, the long-term risks of excessive exposure shouldn't be ignored. Luckily, there are safe, natural alternatives that clean your teeth just as well, without the potential cancer risks. Up next, a household item made for children but loaded with hidden chemicals that could be putting them at risk. If there's one thing you expect to be 100% safe, it's children's toys. Parents buy them without a second thought, assuming they've passed strict safety regulations. But here's the shocking reality. Many plastic toys, especially cheap or imported ones, contain toxic chemicals that have been linked to hormonal imbalances, developmental issues, and even cancer. What's wrong with plastic toys? The biggest danger in modern plastic toys comes from a group of chemicals called phthalates, which are used to make plastic soft and flexible. The problem? Phthalates are known endocrine disruptors, meaning they interfere with the body's hormones, which can increase the risk of hormone cancers like breast and prostate cancer. Another major issue? Lead and cadmium contamination. These heavy metals, found in cheaply made, brightly colored toys, have been linked to neurological disorders and cancer in both children and adults. Here's what to watch out for. Soft plastic toys, rubber ducks, bath toys, dolls. Many contain phthalates, which have been banned in some countries but are still found in many products. Painted toys from unregulated manufacturers, cheap imported toys often test positive for lead, which is extremely toxic and linked to blood and brain cancers. Toys with electronic components. Some have been found to contain brominated flame retardants, which can interfere with thyroid hormones and increase cancer risk. How do these chemicals get into the body? Unlike adults, kids put everything in their mouths. When they chew on plastic toys, the chemicals used in the manufacturing process can leach out and enter their bodies. And because children's immune and detoxification systems aren't fully developed, they are much more vulnerable to long-term damage. Even handling toxic toys can be dangerous. Heavy metals like lead or cadmium don't need to be ingested. They can be absorbed through the skin or transferred from hands to food. Scientific studies and cancer risks. The World Health Organization classifies phthalates as a possible carcinogen linked to breast and testicular cancer. A study from Columbia University found that children exposed to high levels of lead had a higher risk of developing leukemia later in life. The National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences found that brominated flame retardants found in some electronic toys can disrupt hormones and increase cancer risk. How to reduce your child's exposure. Avoid cheap plastic toys. Stick to toys made from wood, natural rubber, or certified BPA-free plastic. Check labels. Look for products marked phthalate-free and lead-free. Wash new toys before use. This helps remove surface chemicals and dust that may contain toxins. Replace old plastic toys. Some vintage or secondhand toys may contain chemicals now banned in modern manufacturing. Final thought on children's toys. You would never think your child's favorite toy could be a silent health risk. But with better awareness and smart shopping choices, you can protect your kids from unnecessary exposure to harmful chemicals and still let them have fun. Up next, a common household item that fills your home with pleasant scents, but could also be filling your lungs with cancer-causing chemicals. Picture this. You've had a long day and you just want to relax. You light a scented candle, or maybe you spray some air freshener to make your home smell clean and inviting. It seems like a simple, harmless habit, but what if I told you that these products release toxic chemicals into your home, some of which have been linked to lung, throat, and breast cancer? What makes scented candles and air fresheners dangerous? The problem with these products is that many contain synthetic fragrances and volatile organic compounds, VOCs. When burned or sprayed, they release microscopic toxic particles that you inhale directly into your lungs. These particles don't just disappear, they can accumulate over time, increasing the risk of respiratory diseases, hormonal imbalances, and even cancer. The three biggest threats in these products are benzene, a known carcinogen found in cigarette smoke and exhaust fumes. Long-term exposure has been linked to leukemia and blood cancers. Formaldehyde, a toxic chemical that can cause nasal and throat cancer when inhaled frequently. Phthalates. Used in synthetic fragrances, phthalates disrupt hormones and have been linked to breast and reproductive cancers. How are these products affecting you? Think about how often you use them. You burn scented candles for hours while relaxing. You spray air fresheners daily in the bathroom, bedroom, or living room. You use plug-in air fresheners that constantly release chemicals into the air. Over time, exposure to these toxins adds up. Since they are airborne, they bypass your digestive system and go straight into your lungs, where they enter your bloodstream almost immediately. This means that even low exposure over many years can cause cell damage, chronic inflammation, and increased cancer risk. Scientific studies and cancer risk. The American Lung Association warns that burning paraffin wax candles indoors can release chemicals similar to those found in diesel fuel fumes. A 2021 study in the Journal of Environmental Science and Technology found that homes with regular use of air fresheners had significantly higher levels of formaldehyde and benzene in the air, two well-known carcinogens. A study by the Breast Cancer Fund found that phthalates in synthetic fragrances were linked to a higher risk of breast cancer in women exposed over long periods. How to reduce your risk? Switch to beeswax or soy candles. They burn cleaner and don't release the same toxic chemicals as paraffin wax. Use essential oils in a diffuser instead of chemical-based air fresheners. Ventilate your home properly. Open windows instead of using sprays to freshen the air. Choose fragrance-free or natural alternatives. Some air fresheners labeled green or organic still contain harmful compounds, so always check the ingredients. Final thought on air fresheners and candles. While these products seem harmless, they release dangerous toxins that you breathe in every single day. Over time, they can contribute to serious health issues, including cancer. The good news? You can still have a fresh-smelling home without the risks. Just make smarter choices when it comes to what you're breathing in. Up next, a kitchen appliance that millions of people use every single day without realizing the hidden cancer risk inside. When you think about cleaning your kitchen, you probably feel like you're making your home safer and healthier. After all, keeping things clean reduces bacteria, removes grease, and makes your kitchen feel fresh. But what if I told you that some of the very products you use to clean could actually be harming your health? Many popular dish soaps, countertop sprays, and floor cleaners contain harmful chemicals that have been linked to hormonal disruptions, lung damage, and even cancer. What's wrong with conventional cleaning products? Many cleaning products contain volatile organic compounds, VOCs, chemicals that easily become airborne and can be inhaled into your lungs. Over time, exposure to these chemicals has been linked to chronic inflammation, DNA damage, and an increased risk of cancer. The worst offenders include formaldehyde, found in some disinfectant sprays and antibacterial cleaners. It is a known carcinogen that can increase the risk of throat and lung cancer. Ammonia, common in glass and stainless steel cleaners. Ammonia can irritate the lungs and increase the risk of respiratory cancers. Chlorine bleach, used in many disinfectants and dishwashing detergents. Prolonged exposure to chlorine fumes has been linked to lung damage and cellular mutations. Phthalates, found in fragranced cleaning products. These chemicals disrupt hormones and have been linked to breast and reproductive cancers. How do these chemicals affect you? Every time you spray a cleaner, wash dishes with detergent, or wipe your counters with a chemical-laden cloth, tiny invisible particles become airborne. These chemicals enter your lungs when you breathe, where they can cause chronic irritation and cell damage. Absorb through your skin, especially when using dish soap or cleaning without gloves. Settle on your kitchen surfaces, where they can contaminate food when you prepare meals. A study published in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine found that women who used chemical cleaning products regularly had lung function decline equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, classifies formaldehyde and chlorine compounds as probable human carcinogens. Research by the Environmental Working Group, EWG, found that over 50% of household cleaners contain harmful VOCs linked to cancer and organ toxicity. What's even worse, green and natural doesn't always mean safe. Many products labeled as eco-friendly or natural still contain dangerous chemicals. For example, some brands remove one harmful chemical but replace it with another that hasn't been fully tested for safety. How to reduce your risk? Choose fragrance-free cleaning products. Avoid strong artificial scents, which often contain phthalates and VOCs. Make your own cleaners. Vinegar, baking soda, and lemon juice can clean just as effectively without harmful chemicals. Ventilate your kitchen while cleaning. Open windows or use a fan to reduce chemical buildup in the air. Wear gloves when using cleaning products. This reduces skin exposure and lowers the chance of chemical absorption. Final thought on cleaning products. Keeping your kitchen clean shouldn't come at the cost of your health. By choosing safer alternatives and limiting your exposure to harsh chemicals, you can reduce your risk of long-term health effects, including cancer. Up next, a common kitchen appliance that millions of people use daily, but could be exposing them to toxic chemicals with every sip. For millions of people, morning doesn't start without a cup of coffee or tea. Whether you're brewing a fresh pot in your coffee maker or boiling water in an electric kettle, it's a daily habit that feels harmless. But what if I told you that your favorite morning drink might be exposing you to toxic chemicals linked to cancer? What makes electric kettles and coffee machines dangerous? The main concern with plastic kettles and coffee makers is BPA and other toxic chemicals that can leach into hot water, especially when the plastic is heated repeatedly over time. Here's why that's a problem. Many kettles and coffee makers contain bisphenol A, BPA, a chemical linked to hormonal imbalances and increased cancer risk. Some plastic components release microplastics into your drink, which have been found in human organs and even the bloodstream. Heated plastic can release phthalates, known to disrupt the endocrine system and potentially increase the risk of breast and prostate cancer. A study published in the Journal of Hazardous Materials found that boiling water in plastic electric kettles can cause the release of BPA and microplastics into the liquid, which is then consumed. A 2021 study by the University of Newcastle found that humans may ingest up to 5 grams of plastic per week, partly due to plastic contamination in heated liquids. How does this affect you? Think about how often you boil water or brew coffee. Daily exposure to small amounts of BPA and microplastics can accumulate in the body over time. BPA acts as a synthetic estrogen, which can contribute to the development of hormone-sensitive cancers. Phthalates interfere with testosterone levels, which can increase the risk of reproductive system cancers. The risk is especially high if you use an electric kettle with a plastic interior. Have a coffee machine with plastic parts that come into contact with hot water. Use plastic pods or single-serve coffee capsules, which can release harmful chemicals under heat. How to reduce your risk. Switch to stainless steel or glass kettles. These materials don't leach harmful chemicals into your water. Choose coffee makers with minimal plastic parts. Look for models with metal or glass water tanks. Use a French press or pour-overs method. This eliminates exposure to plastic brewing systems entirely. Avoid plastic coffee pods. Opt for reusable stainless steel capsules instead. Final thought on kettles and coffee makers. Most people never think twice about how their drinks are prepared, but heated plastic is one of the easiest ways to ingest dangerous chemicals. By switching to safer alternatives, you can enjoy your coffee or tea without hidden health risks. Up next, a common item in almost every kitchen, but one that could be contaminating your food with cancer-causing chemicals. Non-stick cookware has become a staple in almost every kitchen. It makes cooking and cleaning so much easier, and let's be honest, who doesn't love that? But what if I told you that your favorite non-stick pan might be leaching toxic chemicals into your food every time you cook? What makes non-stick pans dangerous? The problem comes from the coating on non-stick cookware. Most non-stick pans are coated with Teflon, polytetrafluoroethylene, or PTFE, which was once made using a chemical called PFOA, perfluorooctanoacid. Here's why that's a problem. At high temperatures, the non-stick coating begins to break down, releasing toxic fumes into the air. Some studies suggest that even modern PFOA-free non-stick coatings can still release harmful fluorinated compounds when overheated. Scratched or damaged pans may release tiny particles of coating into your food, which can accumulate in your body over time. The American Cancer Society has linked PFOA exposure to an increased risk of kidney and testicular cancer. A study published in the Journal of Environmental Health found that fluorinated chemicals used in non-stick coatings were present in the blood of 99% of Americans. A 2020 report from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, classified PFOA and PFAS chemicals found in some non-stick cookware as forever chemicals because they do not break down in the environment or the human body. How are you exposed? If you're using a non-stick pan, you might be inhaling toxic fumes without realizing it. The risks increase when you cook at high temperatures above 450 DGF/230 DGC. Your pan is scratched or damaged, releasing particles into food. Your kitchen has poor ventilation, allowing fumes to accumulate. Even more concerning, PFOA and similar chemicals stay in the body for years, slowly accumulating with repeated exposure. How to reduce your risk? Switch to safer alternatives. Use cast iron, stainless steel, or ceramic cookware instead. Never overheat non-stick pans. Keep cooking temperatures below 400 DEGF, 200 DEGC to reduce chemical release. Replace scratched non-stick pans immediately. Any visible damage means it's time for a new pan. Cook in a well-ventilated kitchen. This helps reduce inhalation of toxic fumes. Final thought on non-stick pans. Non-stick cookware might be convenient, but the potential health risks are too serious to ignore. If you want to protect yourself and your family, consider switching to safer alternatives that won't expose you to dangerous chemicals. Up next, a surprising household item that's in nearly every home but may be coating your skin and lungs with toxic chemicals. Think about your favorite waterproof jacket, stain-resistant furniture, or even your non-stick baking sheets. These products seem like great innovations. They keep you dry, make cleaning easier, and prevent stains. But here's the shocking truth. Many of these everyday items are coated with chemicals that have been linked to cancer. What makes waterproof textiles dangerous? The key ingredient in most waterproof and stain-resistant fabrics is PFAS, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, also known as forever chemicals. These compounds do not break down in nature or in the human body, meaning they accumulate over time and can lead to serious health risks. PFAS have been linked to liver and kidney cancer, weakened immune function, hormonal imbalances, thyroid disease. A 2022 study from the Environmental Science and Technology Journal found that many waterproof jackets, furniture, and carpets contain PFAS, even when labeled as eco-friendly. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control, CDC, states that PFAS exposure is nearly impossible to avoid because they are found in air, water, and household products. use. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, has classified some PFAS chemicals as possible human carcinogens due to their cancer-promoting effects in animal studies. How are you exposed? PFAS don't just stay on the fabric, they can rub off onto your skin, become airborne, and contaminate your indoor environment. Common exposure points include wearing waterproof jackets, the chemicals break down over time, absorbing through your skin. Sitting on stain-resistant furniture, PFAS particles can transfer onto clothing and skin. Using non-stick baking sheets or food packaging. Some food wrappers and takeout containers contain PFAS which leach into food. Inhaling PFAS in household dust. These chemicals don't just sit on fabrics, they become airborne and circulate in your home. How to reduce your risk? Choose PFAS-free alternatives. Many brands now offer waterproof clothing and furniture without toxic coatings. Check labels. If an item is labeled as water-resistant or stain-resistant, research whether it contains PFAS. Use natural fabrics. Instead of synthetic waterproof materials, opt for organic cotton, wool, or untreated fabric. Avoid non-stick parchment paper. Many baking sheets and parchment papers contain PFAS, so switch to uncoated versions. Final thought on waterproof textiles. Waterproof and stain-resistant fabrics seem like a great convenience, but they come with hidden risks. By choosing safer alternatives, you can protect yourself and your loved ones from exposure to these toxic forever chemicals. Up next, a simple household item that millions of people use every day, but could be filling your body with microplastics and dangerous chemicals. A warm cup of tea is one of the most comforting rituals for millions of people around the world. Whether it's black, green, herbal, or chamomile, tea is often seen as a healthy drink packed with antioxidants and natural benefits. But what if I told you that the tea bag itself might be contaminating your drink with microplastics, chlorine, and toxic chemicals linked to cancer? What makes tea bags dangerous? Most people focus on the quality of the tea leaves inside the bag, but almost no one thinks about the tea bag itself. The problem? Many modern tea bags are not made from paper, but from plastic-based materials that release dangerous compounds when steeped in hot water. The two biggest dangers in tea bags are microplastics. Many tea bags are made from nylon or PET plastic, which can release billions of tiny plastic particles into your tea when exposed to hot water. Chlorine-bleached paper. Some paper tea bags undergo a chemical bleaching process, leaving behind traces of chlorine and dioxins, which are known carcinogens. A 2019 study published in Environmental Science and Technology found that a single plastic-based tea bag releases around 11.6 billion microplastic particles into a single cup of tea. The World Health Organization has classified dioxins found in bleached paper as highly toxic and linked to cancer, immune system damage, and reproductive issues. The National Cancer Institute warns that long-term exposure to microplastics may contribute to chronic inflammation, which is a known factor in cancer development. How are you exposed? Every time you steep a tea bag, heat breaks down the material, releasing toxic particles into your drink. The highest risks come from plastic-based tea bags, found in premium brands, and pyramid-shaped bags. Tea bags labeled as silky or mesh-like. These are often made of PET plastic or nylon. Bleached paper tea bags, they may contain traces of chlorine and dioxins. Even though the amounts are small, daily exposure over years adds up, leading to a higher risk of chronic health issues. How to reduce your risk? Choose loose-leaf tea. It eliminates the risk of plastic and chemical exposure altogether. Use tea bags labeled unbleached and plastic-free. Many brands now offer safer options made from natural fibers. Avoid silky or pyramid-shaped tea bags. These are often made from plastic, not silk. Use a stainless steel or glass tea infuser. This is the healthiest way to enjoy tea without contamination. Final thought on tea bags. Drinking tea should be good for your health, but if your tea bag leaks chemicals into your drink, it's doing the opposite. By making small changes, you can still enjoy your favorite beverage without hidden risks. Now that we've gone through some of the most common household items that could be increasing your cancer risk, you might be wondering, what can I do about it? The good news is that you don't have to throw everything out immediately, but by making small, informed choices, you can significantly reduce your exposure to harmful chemicals and create a healthier home environment. Big takeaways from this video: be mindful of what you cook with, switch from non-stick cookware to safer alternatives like cast iron or stainless steel. Choose natural fabrics. Avoid waterproof and stain-resistant materials that contain toxic PFAS chemicals. Watch out for plastic exposure, from tea bags to electric kettles. Be cautious about how plastics interact with heat. Opt for safer cleaning products. Avoid harsh chemical cleaners and switch to natural alternatives. Ventilate your home. Many hidden toxins are in the air, so let fresh air in regularly. By making these simple changes, you're not only protecting yourself, but also helping future generations live in a healthier world. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to like this video. It really helps spread awareness. Subscribe to the channel. We cover important health topics just like this. Leave a comment. Were you surprised by any of these hidden dangers? Let us know below. Your home should be a place of safety and health, and now you have the knowledge to make it even safer. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.